From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings, LALATE.
It's a big morning of early mornings in LA. How are ya? It's a Monday morning, and fourth stimulus is heating up. This is the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. The fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check would start in July and pay a check every month for several months. In this recording, I go over how many checks, how often, how much money this is, and when this would start. All the details and why 3 major events last week and a series of major events this week will push it to the finish line. Also, I'll be going over the big and developing details about SSI reform happening in fifth stimulus. And I have a big exclusive about third stimulus. Yes, all credible, great news. Also, I'll be going over student loan debt forgiveness, mortgage forbearance, and the Ron Wyden $6,000. It's a big morning. It's a big Monday morning. And let's get to it. Across the board, as America awakes and gets ready for a new day, I'm ready for it. And are you? This is Early Mornings LALATE. It's Monday morning, and how are you as we start the second year of this channel? Away we go. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. In this recording, I'm going to go over those monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package, how much, when, where, how, and why the incredible data from last week and the big data from this week is going to signal the finish line. Also, I'll be going over the big updates about third stimulus, and exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel. And then away we go to fifth stimulus with SSI reform. I'll have all those details and how much you'll see as a change of your benefits this fall. Also, student loan debt forgiveness and more. With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as we start the new morning is that fourth stimulus is heading to the finish line. Throughout the week, you're going to hear the president talk about bipartisan support. Not going to happen. You're going to talk about concerns that the economy is rebounding very fast. It is, but not at a recovery level in which you're going to have jobs restored by July. And finally, you're going to hear about the Federal Reserve. All 4 items I'm about to reveal to you all show you getting stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package. They are the economy, the Federal Reserve, lack of bipartisan support, and still lack of job restoration and the economy. Fourth stimulus is also called the infrastructure bill or the American Jobs Plan. And the fourth stimulus would be the biggest payout you've seen of stimulus checks in the history of this channel. It's going to happen, and let me go over all the details with you starting right now. Fourth stimulus is a monthly stimulus check, and that monthly stimulus check happens by reconciliation. Those monthly stimulus checks differ whether you're talking about the senators or the House members. Let's compare the 2 programs. The House members would pay a stimulus check of every month for the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators would pay a stimulus check from July to December. How do they differ? Well, the House members are progressives, the senators are moderates, and then the amount of the monthly stimulus checks differing across the board as well. The House members would pay $2,000 the first month and $1,000 thereafter. The senators instead would pay a stimulus check of a monthly amount we don't know, because they haven't said it, but word on the street it would look like this. $2,000 a month over 6 months is $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months is $8,400. There you go. The single biggest payout you ever see on this channel. This is for you. If you're on SSI or SSDI, this is you. The income qualifications are the same as the third stimulus, but let's go over the income qualifications. Here we go. Who gets it? $75,000 or less, single individual income. Household of 4 or less gets it. Or SSI or SSDI, Social Security Rural Benefits, you all get it. And there we go. Very straightforward. Now, some of the questions you often ask. What month would the stimulus checks start? July. When would you get those stimulus checks? July. How would you get the stimulus checks? I think, purely my guess, is they're going to do by debit card and then replenish the debit card every month. That's what Senator Harris and Senator Warren in 2020 proposed. And Senator Sanders. Meantime, when is the vote? July. Exact date? July 4th, says Nancy Pelosi and Leah Schumer. No later than July 4th. Recon, when does it start? May. How long does it take? 2 months. Does the president write the bill? No. Does the House write the bill? Yes. And away we go. This is the single biggest payout we've ever seen for this channel. It does not count as income. It is not a taxable event. It would not disqualify your benefits. And if you think it's the biggest payout for a person this year, it is not. This fall, in September, the president will introduce the fifth stimulus package. And how much will that fifth stimulus package be? It will be $24,000 for a single person if they are 17 to newborn. Yes. On Wednesday, the president will debut the fifth stimulus package, and he will extend the child tax credit of $3,600 now for 6 total years. Nearly $24,000 for a child. A lot of money. A lot of money. More about that in a second. But 4 stimulus is happening. Now, why is it absolutely really getting to the finish line now? Because 3 major events that happened in the last few days and a series of major events that are going to happen next week. I'm going to go over those right now. First, lack of bipartisan support. Yes, the Republicans had offered the president no $2 trillion, no climate, and $600 to $800 billion for infrastructure. 3 weeks ago, president said no. So what did they come back with this last week? No $2 trillion, no climate, and $500 billion. Yeah, they went smaller. President said, circle around again. Now, here's what you need to know. There's not going to be bipartisan support. Absolutely 100% guaranteed. The president's going to make it look like he's chatting with them. He's not. He's having 2 people come to the White House at a time, making it look like bipartisan support. No one's going to buy this. In fact, they're not going to buy it for a series of other reasons. One is the president is now looking to spend $6 trillion in 9 months of his 9 months of his presidency. Republicans are not going to give a single person $6 trillion to spend. They're not going to do it. Number 2, the president's proposing to raise not 1, but upwards of 4 different taxes in 2 stimulus packages. Republicans are not going to do that. So away we go to reconciliation. And that reconciliation is what gives you those stimulus checks. What are the other 2 items that are going to support this bill getting to finality? Second, the Federal Reserve will this week announce that it's not changed its Federal Reserve policies and will continue to support this economy. Continue to support this economy because jobs are not restored and people are unemployed. And finally, the unemployment numbers, the recovery numbers. We had worried that we were going to fully recover it by July. That's no longer the case. We're now still on path to recovery in December. Remember, if we recover too soon, there may be cold feet to send out stimulus. Not happening. Why? On Thursday, the unemployment numbers were released this last Thursday, and they were flat from the week before. This is what you need to know. 2 weeks ago, the unemployment numbers dropped 250,000. People were worried we were going to drop another 250,000 and then one more and we would be done. Not happening. So there's 8 million jobs unrestored from before the pandemic and 16 million people still unemployed, meaning we're going to have to wait till we get full restoration, and that full restoration will not come until the end of the year. And that is the push for forced stimulus going into the new week. Now, what is also making big news for forced stimulus going into the new week? It is corporate earnings. Corporate earnings will be announced this week, and those corporate earnings may signal that we are not fully recovered for purposes of stimulus. What is the corporate earnings? Let me give you a few of them. First, today, Tesla will report corporate earnings. And Jim Cramer says the following for Tesla. I like Tesla at these levels. I'm betting the quarter will be a good one. Again, that's Q1 2021 reporting earnings today. And then tomorrow, it's Alphabet, Microsoft, and Starbucks. Is anything growing too quickly that would signal that we're fully rebounded in July? Nope. Kramer says Microsoft stock has run so much it needs to report a monster quarter of huge Azure numbers. The funniest thing is I think I'll probably do it. I think I'll stay with it. But as to Starbucks, he says, oh no. He says, I'm looking for a pullback. Ooh boy, not particularly good for that one. But for Alphabet, he says, I think it steals the show, the Google Cloud. I think I like it very much. Takeaway. Through Tuesday, Those companies reporting corporate earnings will not suggest that there is enough rebounding that we're fully recovered by the summer. Great news across the board. Also, big great news is the exciting details about SSI reform. That's coming up later in this recording. Stay with me. I'm going to go over all the details. How much, when, where, how does it work? What are the big new details and when will it hit? But first, let me cut over to student loan debt forgiveness. $50,000. What's going on? Two things. First, Miguel Cardona, the education secretary, was ordered to produce a memo 2 weeks ago and has not done it. And people are now getting noticed are taking notice of his failure to do the memo. Where is the memo, Secretary Cardona? You haven't produced it. The president gave him 2 weeks to do it, to say whether the president has executive authority to forgive student loan debt by executive order. He can't, because Obama did and Trump did it. Cardona has still not put that to writing. And now broadcast news is noticing it. Not particularly good. Evasive? You drop in the comments. Do you think he's trying to evade the subject? We shall see. But a good new report over the weekend showed that 50% of all House and senators of both parties polled support student loan debt forgiveness, and that of the 50% that didn't support it, supported a smaller amount. Meantime, Elizabeth Warren this week will be going over the incredible news that you want to hear, which is the wealth tax. The wealth tax will heat up a congressional hearing this week, and during that wealth tax, she will talk about the need to get it out the door. The wealth tax is a standalone bill in the Senate. It would not likely slide into forced stimulus because it's a little bit polarizing, but it's the item that would pay for SSI and SSDI $2,400 or $200 a month. And then Ron Wyden, he's that Democrat senator who proposes a fix for PUA. I think this one could slide into forced stimulus. That PUA fix is $250 a week for 6 months, which would amount to $6,000 every year. It is not a COVID-only relief. It is a lifetime program in which the federal government would pay PUA people $250 a week for up to 6 months. That is $6,000 per year. Incredible great news across the board. What about Bernie Sanders and all his things? Are they going to get enforced stimulus? I don't think so. Meantime, mortgage forbearance, student mortgage forbearance, money for your home, rent assistance, and additional from third stimulus has yet to go out. So that money will land in May, insiders say. Also being derailed and slowed down is that surprising Shuttered venue grant. It was supposed to go live on Saturday. It was shuttered. It was supposed to go live before that. It was shuttered. So is the shuttered venue grant still shuttered? It is still shuttered. But it will unshutter itself this week and go to drapes. Yes, SBA keeps on sending out emails about this one. I mean, can you send out an email where the $5,000 EIDL grant is? Has not gone live. No word about it. The remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant is being paid. People who reapplied in who responded in February are stuck in a vortex. Don't worry, they're getting to that one. But the PPP grant is also live, and the restaurant grant, not particularly clear what's going on with that either. Meantime, coming up after the commercial break, I'll go over the big surprising details about what's going on with that SSI reform. I'm really excited for you. So stay with me. This is the big reform that you and I have fought for, have hoped for, and now it's happening. I'll be back in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues on LALATE with mornings LALATE at 12 noon. And then at noontime is noontime. Excuse me, then at 2 p.m. is noontime LALATE. 2 hours after that is afternoons LALATE. It's our new programming schedule that's easy breezy to follow. A new show every 2 hours, and you don't want to miss one of them. And then we go into our afternoon schedule at 6 p.m. with afternoons LALATE, followed by evenings LALATE 2 hours after that. And then we go into late night. Very easy breezy as we go into a new morning. It's incredibly wonderful that you've joined me on a new morning in our second year of LALATE. Today starts our second year of this channel, and I'm so excited you for joining me as we push to the finality. As stimulus for 4 stimulus is happening, 5th stimulus is happening this fall, and there certainly will be 6th stimulus next year. We've gotten word about that as well. It's going to be a big year, and I'm so excited for you to have been part of this family last year and continue to be part of this family this year. And with that, let's cut back to the other big items that are happening this morning as we go into a Monday morning. How are you? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and let's get to it. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP, let's try to do 3,000 likes in this video. And if you've not become a member, certainly do. SSI reform. Boy, so exciting. SSI reform, which generally refers to SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, is the item that we have been pushing for a while. I launched this channel on April 25th of last year, and just a few days into launching this channel, with just a few hundred subscribers, I did a video. It went viral. 3 million views. No one has ever done a video that goes viral that's so new a channel, so new of a channel. And what was that video about? You. SSI and SSDI. No one was reporting about you. And certainly we saw what Elizabeth Warren promised and the president promised on the campaign trail. We saw what the president put in the translation papers. And then we saw what happened in the second stimulus. No mention. We saw what happened in third stimulus. No mention. And then we wondered, what's going on? Will we ever see this SSI reform? And suddenly last week we did. Page after page after page, with signatures from Democratic senators and Democratic House members for the incredible relief that you desired. I'm going to go over all those details right now. First, it would involve increasing your benefit levels, increasing asset limits, a new inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and removing the marriage penalty. When is this going to happen? First, this is in 5th stimulus in September. The Democrats are going to put it in there. 5th stimulus is part of what the president's spending money on this year. He's currently, so far, spent $2 trillion. Your 4th stimulus checks this summer will be $3 trillion, and then another $1 trillion in the fall. All right, let's go over the details about how SSI reform works, one item at a time. First, they can increase your benefits. Viewers have said, I have a couple benefits. Are they all going to be increased? Yes. So they're going to take all your benefits and increase them to a big new number. People have been asking me, what's their particular number? I don't know your particular number, as I go in and out of focus there. I don't know your particular number. There we go. I don't know your particular number, but they will increase you to a big new number. Next, you'll have a new benchmark, not COLA. What is a benchmark? Well, every year your benefits get reassessed, and they determine if they should raise your benefits. Your benefits have not been going up because you're tied to COLA, which doesn't go up. And COLA is not really tied to much of anything. So as milk, eggs, and gasoline go up, your benefits don't. They're going to change that. You're going to tie your benefits to inflation. And inflation is incredible because inflation does go up 1 to 4% per year. The Federal Reserve and myself are all predicting 2 to 3% inflationary growth over the next couple of years. So your benefits will go up 2 to 3% every year. Third, they're going to remove the asset cap. There's an asset cap for some people. That asset cap is $3,000 dating back to 1984. It means you can't keep more than $3,000 in the bank. Fourth, they're going to remove the income cap. Incredible great news. If you want to work, some people do. If you want to work currently, you can't because they don't allow you to over the cap. They're going to get rid of the cap and say you can work and can keep $2,000 a month approximately for that income. And finally, if you know about that marriage penalty, they're getting rid of that as well. People have asked me when would you see that incredible freedom of SSI reform hitting? That SSI reform would happen in the fifth stimulus. That's this winter. That's this September. It would take 2 months to do. And so you would first see the benefits of the SSI reform in your bank account in the final 2 months of this year. Those final 2 months of this year is when you would see them. And with that, I'm so excited for you to join me this morning. Next up is what else is happening starting on Wednesday. Yes, after Tesla reports earnings today and those other ones like Alphabet tomorrow, you're going to see some more corporate earnings later this week. And what do they say about the economy? Are we rebounding faster or are we rebounding at the same rate? Let's look at who's reporting and what we're anticipating. On Thursday, we will see the reporting from Amazon. Amazon, according to Jim Cramer, will be impressive, but not too impressive. Cramer says the stock has been treading water for months precisely because people are worried about the 1 year-over-year comparisons. I think the company's gained new adherents. I think the stock still works. And then Friday. Friday is Exxon, Chevron, Clorox, and Colgate. As to Chevron, Cramer says, when I listen to the oil people talk, I get the kind of positive vibe I haven't heard in ages. Wow, that's really good. And with prices up and costs down, I think these two companies, Chevron and Exxon, could go to the upside. But what about Clorox? Well, the consumer staple, not particularly good. Cramer says, I can't say that their stocks have behaved well when they report. At best, these battlefield stocks, Chevron, Clorox, are battlefield stocks, and there's no reason to go near a battlefield stock, not in this market. Ooh, that's not a good prediction for that one. Here's what you need to know. Across the landscape of all those predictions, nothing shows a recovery rate faster than what we've seen. Of course, on Thursday, we'll see another unemployment report. So what's happening on Wednesday, and why do you need to really watch Wednesday? Wednesday and this morning will mirror one another. What's going on? This morning, Wall Street will open to the news that the president on Wednesday will announce the fifth stimulus package. And that fifth stimulus package is September. And that fifth stimulus package will have a raise of the capital gains tax. Oh boy, Wall Street is not happy about this. And Wall Street was not anticipating it to happen this way. Let me explain what's going on. On Thursday, the news first broke from Bloomberg News. The press secretary denied it. She was inaccurate. It is true. And then Wall Street heard about it and took a tank because the capital gains tax means you would pay more on your profits next year. So people got out of their positions to save on too much taxes next year. Then on Friday, JP Morgan came out with a report that says the president's never going to get this passed. I'll tell you a little bit more of that in a second. But today will be the first day in which Wall Street is opening to the news that the capital gains tax is not next year, as was thought Thursday, but this September. Oh boy. We had heard that the capital gains tax was an issue for the sixth stimulus package in January. Not the case, we now know. It's for the fifth stimulus package in September. Now, it's not going to affect your taxes this year, but it would take effect in September. And this is what a lot of people were not betting for. So here's what you need to know about what Wall Street will likely do today. Wall Street sells on rumor and buys on the news. Wall Street is currently dealing with the rumor because the president has been running rumors. That's how he's been doing it. For stimulus, he won't tell us which taxes. He won't tell us which tax rate. He won't tell us for which tax group. He really will not tell us much of anything. We don't know if forced stimulus is inheritance tax, corporate tax, or several tax instruments. We don't know what rate, for whom, or how whom. We don't know if it's a line in the sand or it's not a line in the sand. So we really have no idea what's going on for forced stimulus this July for purposes of tax changes. And then in September, we're hitting back with capital gains and personal taxes being changed. Again, if the president knows it, he needs to say it. If he doesn't want to do it, he shouldn't say it. Wall Street doesn't like guessing. Here's what you need to know. Middle America, working families, middle-class America wants to know the risks and wants to be able to assess the risks. If they don't know what the risks are, then they react in a way and perhaps that they may not normally react. They may sell based upon the guess because the president is not being transparent about what he wants to do. And every time the press secretary tells American people he hasn't made a decision, that doesn't help the situation because the president has entertained certain ideas. What's going on is the president is entertaining certain tax interests that he wants to change. And the press secretary says he hasn't made a decision. That's not the question. The question is, what is he considering? And every time we don't have clarity about it, it grows with rumor. Here's what you need to know. If people think they're going to have a bigger tax burden next year, they sell this year. And ultimately, selling things in the middle of a pandemic as we try to become economically stable is not a good circumstance. You want to have people to understand their risks and understand what are the risk factors. Going into last week, we had inflation and COVID as really our big risk factors. Now we have to add risk of taxes into this issue. And going to the new week, it's looking like taxes may be the biggest risk going into all this spring, summer, and potentially fall because it's a risk we can't assess. Here's what you need to know, however, going into the new morning. Another report released yesterday said this may never happen even among Democrats. Remember, the president for any reconciliation needs to get all Democrats on board. There is indication that no Democrat will continue to support all these changes in the tax code. Modifications of a moderate amount, like 2% or 3% is one thing, but a capital gains tax change that goes from 20% to 45% is an enormous change, and the president may never get that type of support. Ultimately, understand you're getting stimulus checks on the forced stimulus package. It has nothing to do with what I just covered with taxes. You're getting SSRI reform in the fifth stimulus. That has nothing to do with what I talked about with taxes. What I'm talking about with taxes is the impact you'll see on the economy if these rumors continue to float and we're not getting clarity from the White House. And with that, boy, what a big schedule of programming we have coming up today. I hope you join me. We're going to have a lot of fun as we go into the new day with shows across the board. The excitement starts with Mornings LA in just a little bit. Are you going to join me? I'm going to look for you. Then we go into noontime at 2 p.m., followed by Afternoons LA at 4 p.m. The excitement continues with our second show thereafter. That is at 6 p.m. And then Evenings LA, 2 hours after that, and then LA Late Night. It's a big morning, and I'm so excited you have joined me. Make sure you hit that like button. 3,000 likes. Hit that like button. Let's do it. Also subscribe. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. I'm here. You're here. And stay with LA for more.